Welcome, 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 everybody. Going live in the Art Boss Challenge, just getting a little bit of the tech set up, make sure that we are going live in all of the places that we should be going live. So let's I'm letting everything kind of get kicked in, everything get started. There we go. Perfect. I am going to share this if I can. Yeah, no, not letting me. Let's see if I can share it. I can try to share it one time. See video. Funny, not letting me. It's just not letting me share today. That's all right. As you guys are signing in, say hello. Waiting for our team Art Boss to join us today here at the Art Boss Challenge. It's day 3. Miss Katie Ford, if you're here, I'm not able to share the video to the groups. It looks like you may already be working on that, but just wanted to make sure that gets done. I've already shared it to YouTube as well as Instagram. We are live streaming this training every single day in multiple platforms, but I'm going to be honest, if you're here in Facebook, yay. If you're here in Facebook, you're in the best place. Okay. This is where our training room is. This is where you're going to have live support, not only from me and my team. This is where when you leave comments, we're checking not later on in the day, but right while we're live. So, hey, Mina, hello from Florida. A little bit jealous right now. I'm in the middle of Ohio. Okay. The bottom part of Ohio, and it's cold. It's cold here today. Don't have hardly any sun either. So I'm really jealous of those of you who are tuning in from parts of the world that are just a little bit warmer than here. This morning I was talking to one of the art bosses, and they're up in Maine. So even though we have like 10 degrees, right, it's just cold here. They're like, yeah, that's nothing. And I'm like, I totally get it. But for this little Ohio girl, I'm a little chilly today. So, hey, just kind of popping in a little bit early before the Art Boss Challenge starts. It's the time where we can kind of talk a little bit about art, talk a little bit about what's going on in the art world before we jump into the training and into the Art Boss Challenge. So, as you guys are signing in and Team Art Boss is getting all of this streaming into the right place, the right groups, let's just go ahead and let's have a little bit of fun. So if you're here early, you're getting a front row seat to the training today. And today, training is on fire. Okay. It's my favorite day. Okay. Well, now all days are my favorite in the Art Boss Challenge, but this is the day that everything comes together. This is the day everything is like going to click. This is the day that we are not just talking about the systems and the strategies, but we're also talking about the tools that we need that make selling our artwork online even easier, because those are the tools that do some of the heavy lifting of sales and marketing for us. So glad you guys came early. Okay, this is what we talk about when you guys show up a little bit early. I kind of share a little bit about some of the freebies, and this is where I give away some of the gifts straight out of the Art Boss vaults. So on Monday, I gave away 3 copies. We did the Wheel of Names. I gave away 3 copies of my book called Unleash the Unicorn, which is a beautiful book. After 6 years, I always say this to Katie Ford, I can't believe it. We've been doing this for 6 years. After 6 years, going on 17,000 artists, it's become clear that there are 7 characteristics of a highly successful artist. Okay. So we go through, and inside of the workbook, we kind of highlight what those characteristics are. And then at the back, there's actually a workbook that can help you with some reflection and journaling exercises to make sure that you are do you need to work on one of those characteristics. So that's what I gave away on Monday. On Tuesday, anyone who is connected to us through the Mobile Help Hub. Okay, so yesterday I delivered to everybody who was here a website self-audit. Okay, so yesterday you guys got to choose which one of the trainings that I should deliver to you, and you guys, it was unanimous. everybody wanted the website audit. So I sent that out yesterday afternoon in a text. And I think it's like a 30-minute training. Hello, Melissa. How are you? It's about a 30-minute training on the characteristics of a high converting website. So if you want to get that website audit, all that you need to do is just type the word gift or giveaway, whichever word you want, inside of the comments. Because what I'm going to do is, and this is how I get in contact with you guys. Okay, I'm going to send you a text, and I'm going to be giving away another beautiful free gift today. Okay, this is a big one. The one I'm giving away is a big one, and I'm going to be talking about it at the end of today. Okay, so you just need to stay for the training, and I'll be talking about how you can get your hands on a really amazing gift that I'm giving away today. Hello, I see gift all over the place. Okay, Mina, we got gift. Tracy, gift. Perfect. As you guys are signing in, like just let me know if you would like to be on the list of the artists who get gifts from Team Art Boss. And the one today is going to be pulled out of the vault as well. It's going to be a really big one. Okay, that's all I can say. It's super big. Okay, so we've been doing a lot of work this week. I'm super proud of you guys. You guys are showing up, you're doing the work, you're participating, which allows for you to maximize your results. Okay, so we are going to have some decisions that we need to make today. Okay, so most business owners forget to take the time and kind of collect the wins along the way. And it's really important for us to see like when we are making an impact on our journey and when we're actually getting results in what we're doing. So, what I would like to start out today with is, as you guys are signing in, give us a heart, a thumbs up, let us know you're here, say hello to everybody else in the community. But I also want to ask you, like during the week, this is now day 3 of the Art Boss Challenge, day 1, day 2, what has been the big golden nugget that you've walked away with? What is the aha moment that you went, "Ugh, I totally never really looked at my art business that way before?" Or, "Oh, now I see what's missing. Now I see what I need to be working on in order for my art business system to produce the results that I want," which most of us, the results that we want is income, that consistent monthly income. Hello, Claire. It's good to see you. All right. So I'm gonna just kind of wait for you guys to let me know, like what were the most impactful moments? What were some of the key learnings? What are the things that you're gonna take with you and be like, okay, that piece of information is totally changing the way that I'm going to be running my business. So super helpful because then what I can do is if there's something else that we need to really focus in on today, I can adjust the training and we can kind of go from there. So just going to wait for you guys to share a little bit about what is it over the past couple of days that has allowed for you to have some aha moments. Is it like, yeah, I need to raise my price. And I see now the path and the avenue for being able to raise my price. And is that something you're like, yes? Or what about making sure that you're unapologetically charging a price that reflects the value of your artwork? Is that something that sounds good? Okay. Let me think. What else are some of the things? This is a big one because I say it all the time lovingly. Okay. If you're struggling to sell your artwork online, it's not your fault. Okay. It's not your talent, right? It's one of the biggest things that we talk here. Okay. I need to charge more. Yes, Claire, you do. I know your artwork. It's amazing. Definitely. Here's the thing. If you're struggling to sell your artwork online, it is not your talent. And sometimes the first thing that we say, like right away, is I'm not blaming my artwork for my lack of sales. I know what I'm doing is amazing. But when you tell me why your artwork isn't selling, you're telling me that it's not priced high enough, right? And so you're blaming your artwork. So let me restate this. If you're not selling enough artwork online to the level that matches your talent, to the level that you deserve, okay, it is not your talent. It is not your artwork. It is simply that you're missing the system that allows for you to control your income. That's really what we talked about on day one, right? We just gave that big, beautiful overview, the 30,000 foot overview of the system that allows for you to consistently sell your artwork online. I'm going to read some of the comments. Okay. I need to believe my artwork is important to, love this, to convey this to my potential buyers. So that's what we talked about on day two, is we really spent a lot of time on one of the strategies that we need to be using so that our system is operating. And we spent a lot of time yesterday talking about a content strategy. And why did I pick that one? I think that a lot of times we think, oh, how hard could it be to post? Like, that's really simple. Of course, I need to be posting more and I need to be posting better content. But what we really highlighted yesterday was making sure, because just one simple misalignment in your posting and in your content strategy can totally hijack your sales. Okay. So make sure you grab those replays. Those replays are available right here inside of the Art Boss formula. I have them pinned to the top of the page. You can grab those anytime you want to through to like next week. Katie Ford's here. I want you guys to all say hi to Katie Ford. She is working inside of the comments when you guys have questions. And we're and if you're like, I need the workbook, right? We talked about that on day one or two. If you haven't downloaded this yet, all that you need to do is type workbook in the comments and we'll get that over to you in Messenger. Okay. So, but I want you to know that there's a team of people, even though you may not have met them yet, or you may not have seen them. There's a whole team of people here at the Art Boss that are working for you this week. We know that the Art Boss Challenge is free this week, but we want to remind you that all of the experts who work on your business, they're taking time away from their current clients and their current businesses to work with you for free this week. So perfect. Just go ahead and type workbook in the comments and we'll make sure that we get that over to you. Okay. So some of the things that we're just getting ready to start the Art Boss Challenge on day 3, but let's go ahead. I want to read some of these comments. What are some of the aha moments? What are some of the golden nuggets, the things that you're walking away with that you know will forever change your business? Okay. Posting's difficult. Okay. I love, yeah. Setting up the wording and to be right, for sure. So I want to make sure, Cynthia, make sure that if you haven't watched yesterday's training, make sure you grab day 2 of the Art Boss Challenge. That's where we talked about you may be scaring away your beautiful future buyer without even knowing it. Okay, so yay, yeah, perfect. Say hello to Kate for me. I love that. Thanks for saying hello to Kate. Kate is one of the team Art Boss members. She is our tech coach. She works with you guys on the tools that allow for you to have those tools that really make selling easier. Like I like to say, a lot of these tools do the heavy lifting of sales and marketing for us. So go for it. Go for it. Okay. See lots of people saying workbook, keep it coming. Okay. We're going to be delivering that workbook over to you in Messenger. Okay. And so make sure that you grab your workbook. And yeah, let's do it because it's almost the top of the hour. You might just get started just a tad bit early today. All right. So welcome to the Art Boss Challenge. You know this. You know this. You know that your art is amazing. You know that you absolutely love being an artist, and you're here because you want to answer the question, like, why is my artwork not selling online at the level that I know it should, at the level I deserve, at the level that matches my talent? Okay. So before we get started today and jump into everything, now what I want you to do is I want you to think about the piece of artwork that you want to sell, that you want to sell next, that you want to sell this week, that you want to sell this month. Okay. I want you to visualize it. What is the piece of artwork that you would like to sell? Like immediately, like that first piece. You're going out and you want to sell that piece of artwork. Okay. So I want to make sure that you have that visualized. Now, what I want you to do is share it with us. We want to see it too. There's several different ways that you could do that. You can add a picture into the comment so we can just see your artwork. Or better yet, if you have a website, go ahead and share the link to the website so we can see some of your artwork. Or better yet, if you're active in social media and you have a link to your social media, maybe to Instagram, maybe to a Facebook group or your Facebook business page, maybe you work in YouTube, just put the link down, okay? Because here's the best thing. Social media love is social media love, and having people check out your artwork on your social media can help your algorithm. So, but I really want you to be thinking here as we start the Art Boss Challenge, what piece of artwork do you want to sell this week? Okay. And what are you going to do to get it sold? Okay. Are you going to try to sell this on your own, or do you want to continue with some support? Because today is about making a choice. Today is about, like, hey, I want to sell my artwork and I'm going to choose to get the support, the tools, the systems, and the strategies. Okay. I'm giving you guys a heads up here. Today, I'm going to be offering you, each one of you who's serious about having a system that allows for you to close your artwork, a free clarity call with me. Okay. So that we can uncover your next steps. So you'll need to stay till the end today. And I'm going to hand out that link. Okay. So it's your choice. Do you want to stay stuck, or would you like to get some clarity? Okay. So let's go ahead and do this. I'm seeing some websites. Yay. We're going to check those out. I'm definitely going to check those out after the training is over. I'm going to check out all of it. Okay. So keep it coming. Also, remember, guys, this is a community of other artists who are walking the same path, who have the same passions that you do, and are here and are willing to give support to one another. So keep them coming. Keep sharing either a picture of your website or somewhere maybe where you display your artwork, or a social media post. So keep them coming. Awesome. Perfect. All right, let me go ahead and add in. Let's do it this way for right now. Okay, let's add in the presentation. We don't have really much housekeeping to do today. If you still need the workbook, just simply put workbook inside of the comments. Even if you're watching in replay, we'll still be able to get that workbook over to you. Okay, so make sure that you're still participating. Even if you're not watching this live, you're watching in replay, it allows for us to make sure that you're getting the support and the help that you need, even if you're not able to join us live. So welcome to day 3 of the Art Boss Challenge. I'm so glad you're here, because today is the day that we bring it home. We're bringing it all together, and we're going to look at why most talented artists struggle to sell their artwork online, even when they're doing everything right. Okay. More importantly, I'm going to show you your next steps for building a system that fixes your sales problem for good. Okay. You've already done so much work this week. We've delivered real value and tons of conceptually, like what you need to be doing. Day 1, we walked you through the complete system that you need to sell your artwork, the one that successful artists use to sell their artwork. And you gain the power of self-diagnosis, which means you can see what's missing in your sales system. And the reality is you're probably missing a step or 3, right? And if you left on Monday going, cool, I got this, I got everything, you may have unknowingly signed up for months or even years of trial and error, because without clarity around the action that you need to take, it's just another form of stuck. Okay. Day 2, we gave you the strategies to create content that magnetizes your future ideal buyer. Okay. And not repel them. That's the key. You saw how sometimes just one small misalignment can totally hijack your sales. It may look really simple, but building a system without the clarity and the action steps will not lead to consistent sales. It'll just lead to wasted effort. Unfocused busy work leads to burnout, not to sales. Okay, so we really spent a lot of time on day 2, that was yesterday, showing you one of the strategies that looks so simple and can be the one that actually collapses your sales system. And today, I'm excited. I already said this. This is probably one of my favorite days. We're going to be diving into the tools. The tools that make all of this simpler, because the truth is, with tech, we can automate a lot of what we used to have to do manually. We can amplify our sales and we can scale our art businesses. Okay. But using the wrong tools or avoiding tech altogether is one of the fastest ways to have your business implode or burn out. Okay. We're going to show you what happens when you use the right tools the right way so you can stop doing all that heavy lifting by yourself. Okay. So let's just kind of like pop in over here. Okay. Perfect. Why your art isn't selling online and the systems, strategies, and tools that you need to immediately impact sales. This is a big, beautiful statement. You are in control. If this is your first time here, I guess I should introduce myself. My name is Rena Uha. Okay. For the past 3 days, I've been delivering the Art Boss Challenge, and let's be honest, maybe 2025 did not deliver the sales that you wanted or the sales that you deserved. Okay. But here's what you need to know. You're not alone. We're all walking the same path here. And if your art isn't selling the way that you think it should, okay, I've said this already, it's not your fault. And if you're struggling to sell your artwork, it is not your talent. It is simply because you're missing a system that allows for you to consistently find your buyers, nurture them, invite them to your sales environment so that you can close them without being pushy. We've shown you that 30,000 foot view, that really powerful view of the system that all successful artists use to sell their artwork. Okay. But the big picture only gets you so far. Now it's time to go to ground level. How does that sound? What is, and I started out this at the beginning, I got a few answers. What is the big aha moment so far? Okay. What is the golden nugget or that key learning that you've learned so far so that you're like, I really never thought of my art business this way? Go ahead and type it in the chat. Honestly, we read all of the comments, we read through all of the chat. Really allows for us to know if there's a place where we need to kind of shift and pivot, realign, maybe do some additional training. Okay. So, like, remember, like, what is it? What was your big key learning? I'm going to take a break, get a little bit of water here. Perfect. I see a lot of people asking for the workbook. Oh, and the replays, right? The replays are pinned to the top of this page. This is our training room. Okay. So anyone, I mean, like, if we don't need to go any further, there were no aha moments, then we don't need to go any further. Email capturing. Thank you, Cynthia. Super important. Got people typing. Finished my degree, managed to sell some work at craft fairs. Perfect. Taking a break. All right. Here's a little bit of an update of what's going on. Okay. So yes, a lot of us still, even if we're working online, are also matching our income from our shows. We're matching it or even surpassing with our online. Don't undervalue your canvas or your artwork. Thank you. Perfect. That was Laura. Thank you. I've never thought about my posts as being negatively affecting my marketing. Yes, we may be scaring away our future buyers without even knowing it. That was the key focus of yesterday. Thank you, Deb. Strategic content matters. Faux show, for sure. Oh my gosh, you guys are doing amazing. You guys are doing amazing. It's perfect. So today is about choice. Okay. You get to decide how fast you're going to move here. Okay. You can keep doing this the slow way, where you're in research paralysis, second guessing, researching, or feeling like you're on the hamster wheel. Anybody ever feel like you're on the hamster wheel, just kind of losing time and not making progress? Or you can plug into a system that allows for you to get the support that you need and accelerate your sales. Okay. Today, this isn't as much about learning, it's about deciding. Okay. You're in control of the speed that you want to get your product to market, your path, and how soon you want to be making a consistent income. Okay. So you're in control, but you have to make a decision. You don't need more information. That's research paralysis. Before we dive into today's comment, I just want to set the frame here. Let me go ahead and pop over here. Okay, there we go. Perfect. You don't need more information. Okay, you need to spend time. Okay, let me restate that. Okay, you don't need more information. Okay, you already probably are tempted to be in research paralysis anyway. What you need now is clarity. Clarity on what do I need to actually do next to sell my artwork? Check. We're going to talk about that today. Where do I start building a system for sales? Check. We're going to start talking about that today. How do I avoid the pitfalls that can lead to derailing my art sales, especially when I'm putting in all this time and effort? Okay. Today is about helping you see the logical next steps, the ones that make everything start to feel like it makes sense. Okay. If you're hustling, doing the work and not getting the sales you want, it's not your fault. If you're struggling or stuck, it's likely because you're only working on one tiny part of the system without seeing the full picture. And when you're missing the key pieces, that's when sales slip through the cracks. Consistency, that consistent sales is out of reach, and burnout is going to creep in. No, it's going to like totally come in and slap you. Okay. That ends today if you want to. Let's get clear, let's get focused, and let's build something that actually works. Sound good? I say, yes, that sounds good. Okay. All right. Let me, we're going to talk about our magic wand, but before we do that, I want to remind you, let me pop back here. Let me remind you. Tomorrow, okay, the Art Boss Challenge is over today, but tomorrow, for those of you who are taking action, who are showing up and want to know what to do next, I'm offering Bonus Thursday. Okay, so Bonus Thursday happens in a Zoom room. And inside of that Zoom room, we're going to uncover what you need to do next. We're going to look at your current business system and then unpack what you need to be doing next. If you would like to join me for that training session, it's going to be at 3 p.m., same time tomorrow, Thursday. But instead of here in Facebook, we're moving it over into a private Zoom room. I want to see your businesses. I want to see your current business plans. I want to see what you're working on. I want to see what your system looks like, so we can unpack that, and then we can help you make a decision on what you need to do next. If you want the link to that meeting, just type bonus into the comments. Okay. And we're going to get you that link for that training room. Okay. So just wanted to stop there before we kind of jump into the magic wand. Okay. So, yeah, I'm like reading some of the bonus. People are saying bonus. Perfect. Just say bonus. Okay. This is a really great opportunity to work with me and my team one-on-one. Okay. So it's not, and all that's free, by the way. We're not charging for that Bonus Thursday call. Okay. So I just kind of wanted to talk you through that before I went to this next slide. So if you had a magic wand, let's say someone could sit next to you, not judge you, not overwhelm you, just show you how to fix one thing in your art business that's been keeping you stuck, what would that be? I want to know in the comments. What would you like to fix in your business? You've seen the system, you've seen some of the strategies. There should be no one here that doesn't at least have a clue or an idea of one thing that they could fix in their business. What do you want to fix first? Would you finally fix your pricing? Would you want to know exactly what to post? Would you want to just stop second guessing your every move? Are you thinking, I'm just totally burned out, help me? Today is where we see what's possible. Because when you get help, I'm talking the right help, things start to move faster than you've ever thought possible. This is why information is great, but it's not the most important thing. It's not about knowing more. It's about having someone, in your case, the whole team Art Boss experts in your corner who know the system, who can see the gaps, and can help you focus on what is actually working instead of spinning the wheels. Okay, so here we go. Coming in. Clarity of steps. Awesome. Yes to all of those. Awesome. Be comfortable with my price. Annette. Amen. Yes. Find the right buyers. Yes, Becky. Absolutely. Would want to, okay, it's moving faster. I would want to know my value of my artwork and how to sell it. Perfect. Being more consistent with my style. Where should I post my art and make sales online? Yes, all of those. How to get clients when you don't have any clients. I'm gonna share a story today, which I call it the cold to close story. So we're gonna answer that specifically. That even if you don't have any clients right now, you don't even have any emails. Now, when you run a system, you can close like more sales than you ever thought possible. Okay, so super super amazing. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm gonna ask it again. I'm seeing you guys participate, but I'm gonna ask it again. If you had a magic wand, what would you fix first? I want you to write it inside of your workbook so that you have it somewhere that you can remember. What's the first thing that you're going to want to work on? Here's the thing. You don't need a wand. You just need the right support. And that's exactly what is waiting for you next. Art sales shouldn't feel like stress. It should be fun because making money is fun. Anybody having fun? Okay. If you're not having fun, simply because you're not making money, because it's just fun when you make money. The beautiful thing is everything becomes easier when you have a system and you know what the input you need to put into it. Because when you do that, when you have the right number of leads, you have the right content, you have the right sales environments, then what comes out the other side of your sales system is the monthly income that matches the level of what you're doing. And that's what's so beautiful about this. Okay. Let's have fun. Systems aren't about being rigid, they're about being in control. A system lets you know exactly what your inputs are. That's just what I said, like your leads and your pricing and your offers that will give you the exact income that you need, like an additional 5K a month or 100,000 a year. But most artists are still trying to build a business one tiny piece at a time, thinking that is the safest and cheapest path. And that's just not true. Because when you only build part of the system, you don't get consistent results. You just get chaos and second guessing and burnout. You don't have enough built to know with what you did, whether it's working or not. Selling only becomes fun when it's predictable and when you know what actions to take to create real results. The guessing part, that's stressful. Just ask the artists who go all in on one big show with no sales system to fall back on, who have to leave the show busted, deflated, and in more debt. Ask the artist who can't sell a $200 portrait, not because they think their price is too high, but because they know it's too low, but they can't go any lower because then they're like not making any profit. Ask the artist who spend thousands of dollars building websites, buying panels for their shows, tents, buying building a Shopify and Etsy, only to realize that there's still something missing. If you want to have fun selling, successful art businesses run on knowing who your buyer is, how to magnetize them, how to invite them to your sales environment and close them without feeling pushy. Partial systems just don't work. You have to have a complete system. Successful artists, they have the full sales system. They don't skip finding buyers because they don't feel like running ads. They don't decide not to show up to an event, not to send an email, or to stop being visible in their social media because they feel like that's just beneath them. They don't stop running from calls from collectors because they're having a bad week or a bad day or a bad month or a bad year. Okay. They have a full system that consistently attracts their future buyers, nurtures trust, and invites them into their sales environment so that they can close those sales without begging them or sounding salesy and pushy. We've been showing you all week the system up here, 30,000 feet. Now we're going to get down into like the ground level. We're going to be pulling the weeds, what's not working, right? Watering the right seeds, making sure you're implementing your system and not skipping the steps. Okay. Because if you don't water your garden, nothing grows. Do you want a specific example on this? Okay. If I can come up with one. Actually, I'm going to pull one out of not even pull it out of the archives. I'm going to pull it out of just recent meetings that I have with art bosses. Okay. So would that be helpful? Yes. Say yes, or drop some fire. Would you like an example? Okay. Because I can skip over the example if that is not helpful. Just okay, good. Before I go forward, just making sure I'm on the right track, if that's helpful or not. Okay. I see this all the time, and honestly, it breaks my heart. An artist finally starts getting the tools. They have the overview, they have the big 30,000 foot view. They're starting to understand and implement the strategies that they need in order to pull people through their system. And they even get the tools. So they set up their beautiful lead magnets. Okay? They spend the time. They get the perfect image. They get the perfect words. They get the perfect exact offer, and they build this beautiful tool called a lead magnet funnel. And they're like, yes, this is amazing. Okay. And then they post it once to an audience of maybe 100 people. And when nothing happens, they decide, oh, well, I guess it didn't work. Thing here, just didn't have enough data to make any decisions whether it's working or not. Okay. The truth is, it did work. They just didn't use it. They didn't get it in front of enough of the right people. And let me be clear. Okay. This isn't being lazy. This is usually out of fear. Fear of being visible, fear of doing it wrong, fear of finally going all in. Okay. And here's the real danger. When you don't use the tools that put your art in front of thousands of people every single day, you're choosing to be stuck. And you're choosing to be blocked. People behind me. You're choosing to block your own buyers. Okay. If you want proof, okay, I'm going to share a story. Share a story about Gail. Absolutely love her art is amazing. Okay. And she spent the time and the resources and is using the tools to build a beautiful lead magnet. Okay. Beautiful lead magnet. She had that same fear. Okay. Before she was an art boss, she wasn't able to get her artwork consistently in front of 1,000 people a day because it's just not possible to do that manually. Okay. It's just not. We just don't have enough hours in the day to get in front of 1,000 people every day and say, hey, you like my art? Hey, do you like my art? And we have these beautiful tools out there that will do that for you. You don't have to listen to their answers. Instead, you just get back the results of the people who are saying, I love your artwork. Show me more. Okay. So for Gail, she had her beautiful lead magnet. So we already had that to work with. We ran an ad for her. We had it set up, and now she brings in like 300 leads a month. These are not followers. These are people who are saying, I love what you're doing. I want to learn more about your artwork. Tell me more. They're curious, they're engaged, and they're ready to be invited into the buying environment. All because she stopped letting her fear run the show. Okay. She's in control. And she has her lead capture system. Now she's working on her lead nurturing and inviting them into her sales environment. Okay. Totally worked to the point where before she was just posting it here and there and not getting any leads. It's not working. And a simple ad brings in over 300 people a month. Okay. Amazing. Super proud of all the work that she's doing. Okay. So we need to make sure that we have the full system, that we're not skipping the steps. Even though we think we're really implementing all the steps, we may not be. Okay. Build the system right, and your sales will follow, period. And here's where it all starts to click. We know this. You're not struggling because of your talent. You're struggling because your system is broken or missing entirely. That gap is the reason your success doesn't match your talent. And that's what's keeping you in hustle mode instead of income mode. And listening okay, to your buyers. Okay, so I want you to hear this. I want you to listen. Say it over and over. It's not your fault. No one gave you a blueprint yet. No one ever showed you how the pieces fit together until now. So what's missing? You know what's missing. It's what we talked about on day one. Even on day two, you've had that 30,000 square foot. You're able to self-diagnose your own business system. But the question here, what's missing? Action. That's what's missing. Will you build it? Or will you choose to keep spinning on the same stuck cycle? Because clarity without action is nothing. And doing it all alone, that's the long, slow, painful path. Build the system with support, guidance, and the proven tools, and that's the moment when it gets easier. So what's missing? Action. Someone write that word in, type that word in, action or fire. Let's give us some fire here. Just say, yep, it's time to take action. The tools are super important. We're going to spend some time today talking about the tools that we need to bring this all together. But I want to show you the sales path here from where you are right now is the point where now you're starting to take the action. The first step is setting up the systems. I put a little green check mark there because I want you to recognize that you have the 30,000 foot view of the system. You have the ability to diagnose what's missing in your system, but you still haven't built it yet, but we're still giving you a check mark there. Yesterday, on day two, we talked about the strategies you need in order to find the right leads and start walking them down the path to the sale, and the content strategies and how one little misalignment and something that seems so simple can actually derail you and can actually hijack your sales. So I didn't give you a check mark there yet. And right now, we're going to talk about the third thing, software. Okay. This is a biggie. This is one of the big things that are out there that allow for us to actually get our time back and get back into our studios. Okay. So tools are powerful, but if you use them without the right strategy, they're going to eat all your time, drain your budget, and leave you wondering why nothing's working. It's one of the big reasons why if you're like, I've run Facebook ads before and they don't work, I'm going to tell you, you didn't run them correctly. You didn't use your tools correctly. Most artists set up all these fancy tools before they've really built the system, and that's why the tools are not going to work. But the right tools, used the right way, can cut your admin time in half or more and help you sell more art with less hustle. I've tested them. I invest in this year alone. I've invested thousands of dollars just this year. There's only been a couple of weeks this year, but invested thousands of dollars in tools that help streamline the sales process. And I'm adding them in to the Art Boss Academy. Okay. I've found the ones that actually work. Sometimes they work, but they don't work for selling artwork. Sometimes they work, but they don't work consistently. I've tested them. I love to do that. And I've built every template, every checklist, every tool around the strategies that we've been talking about all week long. You don't need to waste your time trying to figure out all this AI stuff and automation stuff, all the email campaigns and all those tools. You don't need to waste years of trying to figure that out. You just need the right roadmap. So if you would like to see the tools that we use in our art businesses, just say the word checklist in the comments and I'll send that checklist. Okay. It's a list of all of the tools that we use in our art businesses to sell our artwork online. And some of them we can use to sell offline as well, meaning if you're doing shows or galleries. We're going to let those tools do the heavy lifting so we can get back to creating. Okay. I want to let you know, I'm not going into a 45-minute to hour discussion on the details of every single one of those tools. I want you to know that we got you covered. Okay. And I'm giving you the list so that if you're a tech person or you're someone who really you love to research, you can take a look at what those tools are. But I want you to know those are the ones that we're using here that do the heavy lifting. I put them all into a suite that you can use for free when you work with us. And for those of you who do like to do those Google searches, you have the list, but I'm putting a big warning out here. Do not get stuck in research paralysis because it will take you years to test out all of them. You will spend thousands of dollars being able just to try them out for a couple months and see how they work. And I've tried a ton of them, and the suite that we have is amazing, and it's specifically designed for art businesses. We have taken, this is the goal, we have taken the time zapping tasks off of your plate and just giving you a sweet software toolkit. Okay, so that you get to the cash quicker, because that's the goal. Maybe even months, years quicker than the artists who are trying to do all this without the tools. So bonus Thursday, go back to bonus Thursday. Okay, bonus Thursday is the first day because we're talking about implementation. Remember, Thursday is the day that we're looking at your business, we're taking the information and we're adding implementation to get results. That's the first day that we'll talk about any of the tools in specific. It is a huge, huge part of your business. And if you choose to avoid the tech, you're then choosing to have to do all of this manually, which leads to the burnout and the overwhelm and not being able to be in your studios. Okay. So if you're a research cat, you got what you need to research it. But good Lord, please, I'm giving the warning. Just be careful because you can go into a research paralysis burnout. Okay. So super cool. Let's talk about the artists who are using the tools. Let's talk about the artists who are using the systems, because we're going to be sharing real artists, real results, same system, same strategies, and same tools. I want to show you what happens when artists finally understand the system and are using the strategies and the tools and the system so that they can spend less time stressing and more time being creative. Because that's what they're meant to be doing. And I've said this before, and I'm giving love to everyone that I'm going to introduce you to, and I know that they won't be upset when I say this. They are not influencers. They're not naturals. They weren't marketing experts. They're just like you. 2 or 3 pieces of their system were missing, and once they finally got that system in place, they saw the full picture, then everything changed. I've introduced you to Kate before. I know that you've met Kate. If you've been to the other days of the Art Boss, I know you've met her. But I want to really talk about how the tools were super significant to her evolution of her business and the success of her business. Okay. When we are in shows, in-person shows, we're working hard. It's a big job. Okay. Especially when you're traveling across the country. Kate, this show that she typically does every year produces right around $20,000 in a weekend. But for some reason this year, the show busted. Okay. She walked home with 2 prints and the best booth award. Many artists who have that happen to them walk home from busted shows saying, oh, well, I don't know what I did wrong. It may have been my pricing. And they go home with big debt. Not for Kate. Okay. Yeah, Kate had a moment of like, really? I sell 20,000 at this and 2 print sales. That's all I got this year. She had a minute where she got to wallow. Like we talk about that, give yourself time to wallow, but then make an action plan. Because she had a system built, her system allowed for her to have a backup plan. Doing shows is risky because there's just some things that you can't control. You can't control the weather. You can't control your booth placement. You can't control the quality of the audience that comes to your shows. But because she had a lead capture and follow-up strategy, she recouped her losses and more. and really looking at the tools that she used, an email campaign, it closed $40,000 the week after she got home from her show, which allowed her, think about this, she closed those sales in an email campaign without being pushy. Now, sales become predictable. She can risk going to an event across the country with her lead capture and follow-up system. Whether she closes $20,000 that week or not, she's still going to send out the email because who doesn't want an additional 40K? Drop the fire. I love that. Drop the fire. Okay. This is Kate. Kate is a retired biology teacher. Okay. And this is what she shared in our Art Boss meeting. She's like, I'm making more money now as a part-time artist than I ever did as a biology teacher. Okay. Here's her story. Like many of us, when we first start out selling our artwork, we start with a really low price. Okay. In November of 2024, she was stuck, struggling for years. Like she's not a new artist. Even though she was a biology teacher, she was always an artist. She was struggling for years to sell her pet portraits for just $200. And she kept on wondering, how much lower do I need to go? I can't go much lower because I'm going to start losing money. And how am I going to raise my price if I can't even sell it for $200? Okay. I'm right now hardly making any money at $200. Okay. So here's the missing link. She was doing only one part of the process. She was just trying to close. She was just going to the conversion part and she had no system behind her. Her messaging didn't reflect the value of her work. And she kept on attracting bargain hunters who every time she dropped her price were comparing her to what they could buy at Walmart or TJ Maxx or Hobby Lobby. The shift that she made, once she set up her system, everything changed. We built her lead capture system for her. She ran an ad. So she was bringing in hundreds of new leads every single month. This is where she really thrived. She got really clear on what her value proposition was. Those tools that we gave her with AI tools, which also created all of her content for 90 days, all of her posting, all of her emails. And she primed her buyers, her future buyers. She nurtured them and she stopped trying to attract the people who were looky-loos or looking for entertainment. And in just 30 days, she sold her first piece for just under $1,000. It was fun to talk to her. She's like, I don't know. I don't feel like I deserve $1,000, but I'll go with $950. Okay. So it's like, that's fine. That's great. Awesome. Okay. By March of 2025, she was confidently closing at $1,800 going, I can't believe it. It's almost easier to close at $1,800 than it was at $200. I'm going to tell you, it's way easier when you're communicating the value of your artwork to close at $1,800 because $200 says that your artwork isn't that good. You don't believe your artwork is that good. And by the end of this year, by the end of 2025, in December, when we chatted, she was selling at $3,000 a piece and still rising. She hadn't found her price ceiling yet. Okay. The big win, I shared that, it's right here. She's like, I make more now as a part-time artist than I did as a biology teacher. All because she stopped guessing, stopped undercharging and undervaluing her art and started using a system and the strategies and the tools to work for her, not against her. Okay, I want to hear in the comments, do you want to raise your price? Is that one of the things that you said? Then just drop the word price right in the comments. Say, I want to raise my price. Type it. Raise my price. This one. Someone asked earlier, remember it was the very beginning, I think it was before the pre-meeting, like the pre-challenge meeting that we have. Someone would say, well, I'm struggling because I don't have any emails. I don't have any audience. Okay. So, and I said we'd be talking about that later in the challenge. Okay. So this is Spring into Wildlife sale. When you're first starting out, you have tons of questions on how to create these beautiful sales events. Okay. And so let me share with you this sales event that we hosted. It was called the Spring into Wildlife Sale. Okay. 3 wildlife artists. Okay. You can see like there's 3 artists there and they're amazing. Okay. 0 leads because they were established artists. They were like, I really don't want to share my email list with the other artists. And I really don't want to share any of my social media assets with anybody. So we started out with 0 leads. Okay. 0 leads. No massive social media following either, because in this situation, we weren't using the assets of those artists because they just don't want to share them. Makes sense. Totally fine. They had beautiful artwork and a proven system with the Art Boss launch book. Okay. I call this a cold to sold event, meaning you have 0 people following you, 0 people emailed, and within 3 weeks, this is what happened. Okay. They used a simple lead capture strategy. We used Facebook ads. We nurtured the new audience for 2 weeks and ran a 3-day sales event that we called the Spring into Wildlife Sale. Okay. All this happened, okay, from setting up the ads to closing cart, 3 weeks. Here are the results. Over $25,000 in sales in 1 weekend. 1,000 plus cold leads who were walked down the path to the sale. Multiple commissions that closed after the event closed. So each one of those artists had people who wanted commissions and they were still closing sales on top of that 25K. And yes, they turned down sales from at least 5 people who were inside of the sales container being, please, please paint my pet. And I respect that because they had clarity in the boundaries and what they created. But I'm also going to say they probably left close to 10K on the table. This is what happens when you use the system and the strategy and the tools the right way. You don't need to post more. You don't need to hustle harder. You don't need to chase trends. You just need a plan that actually works. Do this once a quarter and you have your path to 6 figures. I say this all the time. Guys, this is not about luck. You simply installed a system, and once the system was in place, now the sales are predictable. And that's why I'm so passionate about teaching you this framework, because it puts everything back into your control. You can do this. Anybody want those results? Anybody want help with this? If you want real results, you don't need to work harder. You just need support and structure. I know this. You've tried the effort before. You've tried the consistency. You've tried the posting more, experimenting more, learning more, and none of that fixes the real issue, the missing structure. Once you have that support along with the structure, everything in your art business will change. So I'll ask it again. Do you want help? And I want you to be honest with yourself. Do you want to spend the months and years trying to figure this out on your own? Or do you want the real help, step-by-step clarity inside of a supportive environment? Most successful artists don't build systems alone. So many of you are going to think that you can figure this out on your own, but how many years and how many lost sales? And for some of you, you're just going to give up and walk away from an income stream like Steffi's, where her retired life pays more than when she was working full time. And that's why I built the Art Boss Academy. If you said yes, we have the solution. That's exactly why I built the Art Boss Academy. It's a full year sales support, high touch, intimate program where you get to learn the complete system. You're going to see behind the scenes of my 2 six-figure art businesses and understand exactly what your version of the system needs to look like. The Academy is different from anything else you've ever seen. Okay. It's not general training. It's not a do-it-yourself course where you're watching videos. It's not where you're just sitting trying to figure out how to apply everything based on a vault in a library. It's an academy for serious artists who want to understand the system that runs behind every successful art business and then how to apply it to your own. And this is why clarity is great, but action is better. You've seen the complete system, seen it at a high level, and you finally understand why you've been stuck, why your sales are inconsistent, why your art feels invisible, and why it's been so overwhelming. And more importantly, that your next step needs to be the support to build your own sales system. If you want more sales, you don't need more effort. You just need more support and structure. When you join the Art Boss Academy, I want you to know you're not just working with me. You're working with a full team of industry experts whose mission is to remove every tech hurdle and every execution block that's standing in your way. There's going to be friction, my friends. There's going to be times where you're like, I'm not really sure how to build this out for my business. We provide weekly support, hands-on audits and feedbacks, real-time data to know when to stay the course or shift and pivot, and all the tools you need without the overwhelm. Because this, my friends, isn't about more research, it's about results. This is the team that you're going to be meeting right here that helps you move fast, build things right, and finally get your artwork in front of the right people consistently. Okay. Use the fire button if that sounds good. Okay. I want you to know what we're doing here is more than you just being here with me. Okay. I meet with you every single week. Actually, you have access to me every single day. But I want you to know that it's a full entire team. Kind of talk about this so you know if this is for you or not. Okay. This is for you. You have to have art to sell. If you're still at the place where you're like, I don't even know if I'm a sculptor or a painter, this is not for you yet. Okay. I just want you to know that. Eventually it will, but you need to have a product to sell. You have to want consistent sales. You have to be willing to show up. If you're like, no, not really interested in meeting with the team experts every week, then this might not be for you. You want clarity over confusion, and you want to stop doing this alone. That sounds like you. You're in exactly the right place, okay? And here's who it's not for. I'm just going to be, okay, be really clear. We have so many artists who want this. This is not for, okay? If you're really into dabbling, like you're just going to dabble. If you're not going to show up, okay, this is not for you. If you're unwilling to learn the system, unwilling to use the system, because the structure works beautifully, but only if you engage. Here's what support looks like on a high level. You're going to work with me and my team for the rest of 2026. No more wondering, just exact steps. It also includes the ability to talk to me every single day. Okay, I'm just going to put it out there. Unheard of, unheard of. Your outcomes. This is what you're going to get. Okay, we're going to start out. You're going to be finding at least 200 to 500 leads every month, and we build your lead capture system for you. Okay, I don't want you spending 6 to 8 months trying to figure out how to use this tool. We just build it for you. It's the first thing we do for you so you can start working on your value proposition. Number 2, you're going to have clarity on your product and how to price it. We call that your value proposition so that you can attract and nurture the right buyers. Number 3, We're going to create a sales environment that allows for you to close thousands of dollars in one weekend, just like the Spring into Wildlife sale. That's what we're going to show you how to build out. And number 4, you're going to walk away with a buyer base so that you have collectors for easy and repeatable sales. I want you to think of this as a sales accelerator. You're going to build a business that sells while you're creating and in your studio. And help you craft your full art sales system, including the strategies and the tools that bring in the buyers consistently. We're going to help you test, tweak, and perfect what actually works. Set up the system and you got to test it. You got to use it. You'll stop second guessing and start knowing what content, what pricing, and what offers convert, because we'll review it with you and refine it together step by step. That's why we meet on a weekly basis. We're going to help you scale it with confidence. Okay. So again, I want you to think of this as a sales accelerator. We work with you for the rest of the year. You meet weekly with Team Art Boss and you have daily access to me. You also have full training vaults. There's a lot of training inside of our vaults. You're going to get checklists, you're going to get templates, you're going to get reviews, you're going to get audits, workbooks, maps, and more. Okay. Very structure oriented if you haven't figured that out yet. You're also going to have, and this is the sweet treat here, okay, free access to the software tool you need to sell online for the first 3 months that we work together. And after the first 3 months, you get a huge discount on those tools. You're going to get immediate access to everything. You join today, immediate access means immediate momentum. And in your first month, you're going to understand who your unique buyer is, clarify your content direction, identify your sales environments, and see your complete system roadmap. But here's the good news, okay? You don't have to do this the hard way, okay? We've done the research. We've already tested the tools. We've built the path. Now you just need to walk it. We believe in this so much that we build your lead generation and your lead capture system for you so that you can work on attracting those buyers. That's automated, and then work on your value proposition and start walking them down the path to the sale. Here are your fast action bonuses. Okay, so these are bonuses that we're giving to you. Okay, there's no charge for these. If you act this week, you will be getting these fast action bonuses. Okay, we build your first lead magnet for you. That costs $997 if you want us to build it for you later, if you don't take us up on the fast action bonus. You're getting free access and software tools for 3 months. That's a savings of $450. You're getting the Facebook ad boot camp. That's a $997 savings. You're getting a complimentary 2 months if you pay in full. That's a savings of about $1,200. You're getting lifetime access to the AI companions. This is a super sweet one because once you have access, you have access. And you have free access to my mentorship program where I show you behind the scenes of my 2 six-figure art businesses. Okay. All of that's free. Okay. That's going to be included when you come into the academy. Add that up, over $8,000. Okay. Working with my team for the rest of the year in the Art Boss Academy, $697 a month. Amazing. And you have a choice here. It's a one-time payment of $6,997. Okay, so that's a 2-month savings when you pay in full. There's no waiting. Come today, you join today, you're going to have access to the training libraries, and you'll meet with us next week, giving you the rest of the month, this month for free. Here's the big bonus. And if you buy today, There's some of you out there who already know. Don't wait till the weekend to make a decision. If you buy today, I will give you 4 months free. This is the lowest price you'll ever see this year, but you have to purchase today. If you're like, I'm in, click right here. Let's go ahead and put this, let's see if we can get this a hyperlink. renauha.com/academy. This is going to, I'm going to pop it up here. I want you to see this. One second. All right. Share screen. I'm going to grab, nope, not that one. This one. Okay. Took me a minute. All right. This is the page where you can read through everything that you're getting. Okay. $8,000 in bonuses, information about me, about the program, testimonials. Let's pop down here. All your bonuses, testimonials. I want to show you the testimonials. Go ahead and check those out. This is the thing I want to show you. If you want to join today, let's see here. Okay, there we go. You have the option to get the $1,000 off right here. Okay, so unclick the $697 a month and just grab the bonus. I'm going to be removing this option tomorrow morning. Okay, so you have till the rest of today if you want to save $1,000. This is for the people. Remove this for a second. This is for the people who maybe you've been here. This isn't your first Art Boss Challenge. Okay. And you're like, wow, yeah, that's a really amazing price. Maybe you're like, yeah, I totally get it. I get the value. I'm ready to go. I can make back $6,000 in my first sales event. Let's do it. That's for you. But I want you to be smart about this. Okay. We're discounting that $1,000 for you to actually have money to run ads, because I don't want you to get stuck in the ad, like where you're like, I've been using my lead magnet, but it's not working. If you're not in front of 1,000 people a day, you're not using it. You have it, you're not using it. So I want you to be smart with this. Okay. I'm so passionate about this. I want you to make sure that you have the funds now to make sure that you have the right leads coming into your sales system. Okay. So it's the only time that you're going to have access to that. Okay. So love it for you. And I want you to be smart about it. And remember that the whole system you have to be running. And if you're looking at the system, knowing the inputs, 200 leads a month will produce $5,000 to $10,000 an event easily. Okay. So that is when you're running the whole system. Right. So make sure that you grab that. Okay. So let's see if, perfect. Yeah. It's in the, with Katie Ford, I think you're here. Would you go ahead and put that hyperlink to the page where they can get that discount? That would be great. I am removing that tomorrow. Okay. So just make sure that you grab that before the end of the day. I'm going to add back to this. Okay. So I know you have questions. I know that. I'm with you. So that's why I'm also offering a application call. I'm also offering an application call. We can't really read the link, so I'm going to actually make that bigger again. Okay. So you finally understand the system, and I know that you have a lot of questions. It's totally cool. Here's the problem. Okay. I think I only have one call left this evening in order to get the discount, in order to be able to get the academy for $5,997. Okay. But I'm opening up my call calendar for you so that you can apply and still get those early action bonuses. Remember all the $8,000 of early action bonuses? Those are good through Friday. Everything, by the way, and those early action bonuses are listed on the last page of your workbook. Okay, so if you want to look through those again. If you book your call before Friday, this is a big one. I'm going to make it smaller. I know. And Katie Ford, perfect. Thank you. Katie put in the link to the clarity call. That's an application call. We're going to spend right about 30 minutes talking through your business. Okay. And I want you to make sure that you have this. Okay. These are all the bonuses. And here's what I'm going to tell you right now. If you book your call before Friday, I will lock in those bonuses, the early action one, not the one for today, but the early action ones until we meet. Typically, my calendar is going to book up all through next week and the week after with artists who want to know their next steps and who are looking for the simplest and fastest path to do this. Okay, so let's go ahead and I want to make sure that we're covering everything that you need. Okay, today, don't forget, we have that Q&A call. Still going to be running that Q&A call today. So it's the first time that I'm going to be looking at your business plan and we're going to be uncovering that next step. Okay. So if you would like to talk today, that Q&A call will be really helpful for those of you who want to get the discount, but still have some questions. Okay. So I can cover some of those questions for you today. For those of you who would like to get a one-on-one call with me, go ahead and click here, renauha.com/clarity. Okay. And the thing there is like I said, today I opened up my call calendar and it already booked up. I think there was one more appointment for this evening. Okay. So just one left. Right. So let's kind of walk through some of the details here. And I'm going to make it a little bit smaller or bigger so you can read this. Who is this program for? You're done waiting another year to figure this all out by yourself. Okay. You're exhausted, like trying to find the tips and tricks and then sort them all out. They have you running around in every direction with zero results. Okay. This is a program for you. This is a program for you if you're a professional artist and all of this confusion and overwhelm just has to stop. You know that the creative energy, this is a big one. The creative energy is taking a toll on your creation time and you want a team to support you. This is also a big one. You must be driven and ambitious, okay? Not afraid to do the work because all of the stories that you've heard were people who showed up, took radical responsibility, and persisted through the obstacles. So here's my invitation to you. It's that clarity call. 30 minutes, we'll meet. We're here to help you uncover your next steps. There's no charge for that clarity call. Right? The goal is just massive clarity for your sales plan. Here's the link, renauha.com/clarity. Okay, because we're super excited to work with you. Really quick, who's this not for? And this is just from 6 years of experience. Kind of have to put some of these things in here to make sure that if you're not ready, that you don't join. If you've never created a piece of artwork, you spent zero time learning a craft or a skill set, you're just not ready yet. You will be. Learn your craft, come back. If you don't have a computer or a reliable internet connection to run an online business, it's nearly impossible to run these tools on your phone or tablet. And many of the tools that are out there will not run on your phone or tablet, only on a computer. Learned that one. Had some people come in and they don't have a computer. Okay. Here's the final one. Again, learning over the years. You will never, ever, 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 never, ever, ever, ever consider talking to one of your customers. There is something or maybe someone outside of your control that prohibits you from being online. No refunds for business owners who, and I put this in quotes, didn't realize that you actually have to talk to your ideal customer when you're selling your amazing luxury priced artwork. I'm recommending potentially a private package if something like this is playing out, but I need to put that one in there. So go ahead and grab your clarity call. Okay, so I know Katie's put that inside of the feed a couple times. So we're going to be going to the Q&A session. Want to make sure that you have that link. If you still need the link to the Q&A call, just put Q&A in there. And I'm actually going to put the direct link in there because I know on day one, we had some snafu getting you guys there. So I just put it inside of the inside of the link. Okay, there we go. There it is. renauha.com Zoom VIP. And that's the link for the Q&A call today. I'm gonna leave that up. So what's stopping you? I'm going to pop back over here. Okay, what's stopping you? And I know, believe me, been here. I've been where you are. I'm going to share my story. Okay. But I want to ask you, what's stopping you? First thing, I know, because I work with a lot of you, it's the overwhelm. You're like, I'm overwhelmed. And I'm going to say, of course you are, because you don't have a system yet. Once you have a system, it's going to be doing the heavy lifting for you. Okay. Number two, I don't think this will work for me. Okay. Will this really work for me? And I'm going to say yes, because a system doesn't discriminate against people. Like, it's not going to be like, well, I'm going to work for Susie because she's like, seems like a better artist to support than Sally, right? I'm not going to work better for someone who's selling murals versus sculptures. Okay. This system works no matter what product or services that you're selling. It is a system that all businesses use. And inside of the Academy, we have tailored it. All of your scripts, all of your email campaigns, all of it is tailored specifically for artists. So I want you to say this, okay? If you feel like that doubting yourself is your biggest blocker, I want you to say this out loud. I want you to say this statement. I can do this. I have the path. I have the drive and the resources to make this happen. I want you to say that out loud, okay? I want you to answer that objection. Here's the next one. I don't have time. And I'm going to say again, of course you don't, because you're trying to run your business doing everything manually. And that's why it's so important to make sure that you have the system, the strategies, and the tools that allow for you to stay focused in your business so you can also be in your studio. So if you feel like your time is your biggest blocker, that's what I want you to say out loud, okay? When you say, I can do this, I have the path, I have the drive, and I have the resources to make this happen. What's the other? Oh, I'm not techie. If your objection, I know this is one, I'm not techie enough. And I'm going to say, all right, great. Because systems are perfect for people who don't want to fidget and fudge with technology. Okay. So once again, if you feel like tech is your biggest blocker, okay, I want you to say this. When you say this out loud, say it in your own room. Okay. I can do this. I have the path. I have the drive. I have the resources to make this happen. Okay. So it is, you can do this and you're in control. And today is the day that you get to make the choice. Okay. So, all right. All right. Trying to make sure we have everything and I've covered everything. Bonus Thursday. Let me see if I have a slide up here for bonus Thursday. Yep. Bonus Thursday. Remember, that's tomorrow. The Art Boss Challenge is over. Okay. And we're moving now into, if you want to join us for bonus Thursday, Remember, all you need to do again is just type the word bonus inside of the comments, and we'll send you over that link in Messenger. Today is the last day that you can get 4 months for free. Anything else? Anything else? That's about it. That's about it. I was going to share a story, like my own personal story, if that's helpful. Just let me know if you'd like for me to kind of like share with you how I got started in the online market. I'm looking to pop this back over here and see if I can't get rid of this. Hide. There we go. Perfect. Otherwise, we'll pop over to the Q&A room. But just let me know if you want me to share my story. Sometimes it can be really helpful to hear my story about how I got started in the online market and kind of the path and what led me down this road and why we're here today. Like, Jigna, girl. I think I've told you this story before, but I'll tell it again. Okay. Let me get a big drink of water for this one. All right. I'm going to share my story. A little bit of like the behind the scenes of what happened to my art business and why the online path, like actually, well, let me share the story. Okay. All right. For years, I'm German, great work ethic. For years, I believed the answer to all this was just to work harder and to do more. Okay. More hours, more shows, more effort. Okay. And the harder I worked, I figured that I would just finally like make it, like the consistency would just start happening. Okay. But instead, kind of all that it did was just lead to burnout. Okay. I was selling in all the traditional methods. I was in galleries, I did big shows, and I was always hoping and guessing what people would want because those methods mean you have to create the collection before you go to those events. Every piece that I created was an investment in time, money, energy, and I had no control over the sales environments and what I was going to sell. I was doing everything right, but the return, like the profit, was barely budging. And the more time I put to it, again, the profit wasn't budging. And maybe I was making a little bit more in sales, but when I looked at how much it cost me to actually do that, my profit margins were not moving. And then came art licensing. Okay. So, and I was like, oh, felt like such a huge win. I was like, I did it. I'm going to get over the hump. This is it. Okay. And I was getting into places like TJ Maxx, Hobby Lobbies, Home Goods, Macy's, Pier 1, which they don't even exist anymore. But the truth, I was just trading for more hustle. Monday through Friday, I was in my studios 8 to 5 every day, had to deliver 5 to 10 or more pieces a week to my art licensing agents. I was like chasing color sheets, trend sheets, product sheets, all these, ideas to then chase down a business person or a production manager and say, hey, I thought I had that sale. What happened? Oh, the client actually didn't like this one little brush stroke down here. And I was like, well, you have permission to remove it, right? Use Photoshop and remove it. And they're like, yeah, no, it's just easier to show someone else's artwork and get the sale that way. Okay. That was one of the dawning moments where I was like, I don't control the sales environment. And all I'm doing is trying to figure out what people want, even with product sheets and all that. And it was just exhausting. Yes. When I sold a piece of artwork, I did really well, but all the work that I was doing at the end of the year made more money, but the amount of profit, the amount of time I was putting into it wasn't matching how hard I was working. Okay. So I was just working more and more, but not only earning a little bit more at the end. Okay. My margins were just shrinking. I felt like a hamster on a hamster wheel. Okay. So 3 years of that. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Okay. Now along came COVID. COVID sucked. Okay. It was horrible. The pandemic. We didn't know what was going on. I remember the first time I walked into the grocery store and there wasn't even spaghetti on the shelves. You're like, what are we supposed to eat? Right. But when it came to my business, okay, in 1 week, every income stream disappeared. The art licensing agents called up and said, "We can't even get in the buildings. They're locked. Nobody goes to work anymore. We're like, don't send any more images. Don't send any more artwork. We're like, we don't know when we'll get back into the building." Well, you guys know it was close to a year, right? Galleries that same week started calling me, and they weren't as nice. They were like, "Come with gloves and a mask and pick up your shit." That's basically what they were saying. And the galleries that were out of town were like, "Give me your credit card. I'm sending back your artwork. We don't want it anymore." And so I was like, ugh. And then the emails, the text, and a few phone calls came, and all of the shows were starting to cancel that were happening like a month. That was March, right? March of 2020. Shows in November, December, January. Due to unforeseen market conditions, blah, 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 we're not going to have the event. Okay. So I had to pivot fast. Most artists I knew were just like, well, I guess I'm not selling now. And I was like, no, I know. Okay. So I pivoted fast, and I knew that I needed help. And I knew that the only place to really that was left to sell artwork was online. Okay. But I didn't know how. So I did a scary thing, and I invested in an online sales program and finally got the full system. Okay. Yes, I had sticker shock. Yes, I had a gut reaction. And yes, it was more than what we charge. Okay. So, side note here. Yes, over the past 6 years, my team and I have invested hundreds of $1,000s in training and tools that we put into the Art Boss Academy to make sure that all of what you're using is up to date and what you're using the most recent tools and technology. Okay. We're talking about Facebook ad training. We're talking about AI tools, content generators, all those things. Okay. I keep on improving the academy so you don't have to spend that money. Okay. So my story, what happened next? Okay. I set up the system. Within 1 month, I had my first online sales event. Okay. I followed all the steps exactly, set up my whole entire system. And in one weekend, I sold $20,000 in artwork. I want you to know that matched my profit from art licensing alone in one weekend. So all my art licensing from the previous year, I made in one weekend. Okay. Wow. I was shocked. During COVID, during a time when everybody else was like going, it's over. I guess I'm not making any money this year. I was leaning in and learning, and I leapfrogged my online sales probably by a decade. Okay. Guys, this is about living the artist's life and whatever that means for you. Okay. That money that I made, do you want to know what I did with it? Okay. It was COVID. All my college students moved back home, and I was short a car. So I bought a used car for one of them so that they weren't using mine. And I took the other part of that money and I started the Art Boss Academy, which allowed for me to hire a team, buy the tools, and get the academy launched and started. Okay. Most importantly about this is it gave me confidence in my online sales, and it gave me back control. I think that's the big thing. Okay. For the first time, I wasn't guessing. I wasn't going to a show going, I hope people show up today. I hope a tornado doesn't. I was down in the South at the time. I was down in Arkansas. There were tornadoes. If you're from that part of the world, you're like, tornadoes can really crash, like just screw everything up. Okay. Right. For the first time, I knew what I was doing. I didn't have to guess and hope. I knew how many leads I needed to attract. I knew what kind of content worked with the intentional content. I knew how and where to invite them into my sales container so that everything felt aligned and people were pulling out their credit cards. All right. Because I had a system, I could finally predict my sales. I can finally go, all right, here it is. And this is so repeatable that now every time I have a sales event, it's already set up. All I need to do is hit the start button. All I need to do is change the dates, change the name of the show, hit the start button. So if you're feeling stuck, okay, like I was 2020, right? Just totally stuck. You're like, oh my gosh. And what do I do next? All right. If you're trying to patch everything together in pieces, like getting advice from all different kind of people, patching it together and hoping that it clicks. Okay, let me lovingly say this, said it along. It's not your fault, but it is your responsibility to change your path. All right. When you have control of the full system, that's when you can impact your sales. You deserve this. All right. Okay. If you're ready for implementation, here are your next steps. We're going to put all these links back into the feed. If you're ready to go today, you want to save that $1,000, just go to renauha.com/academy. I'm pretty sure Katie's probably going to be putting this in at the same time as I am. So okay. I showed you how to do it. Make sure you click on the button that says $5,997. Do not click on the other buttons. I'll be removing that option tomorrow morning. Okay, so you have for the rest of the day. A couple, perfect. She's doing it too. Okay, awesome. Second step, for those of you who are like, I really have questions, I need to talk to Team Art Boss. I'm going to be taking primarily most of those calls, so you'll probably end up talking to me. So if you want to talk to me, you have questions about the program. Okay, it's an application call. That means your intention is to learn more and make sure that it is a good fit for you. Okay, I'm going to run you through some of the reasons why it's not a good fit. We already did that today, but that's you grab a clarity call. Katie and I are probably going to do this at the same time again. renauha.com/clarity. That's your next step. If you'd like to get the discount and can't get the last spot on my calendar today for a clarity call, come to the Q&A call. I'm going to be starting that probably like right around like for my time 4:30 in about 10 minutes. We need to take a quick break, potty break in that, and then I'll be back. And what we'll do in that call is I want to look at your current business plan. I'm going to be asking you questions about your current business so we can uncover what you need to do next. Okay. And then the next option is yes, tomorrow is the bonus meeting. We call it Bonus Thursday. I call it the post challenge breakdown, right? Making sure that we got your questions answered and uncovering your next steps, making sure that you have everything that you need to be successful right now and not have to wait decades to get this done. Okay, so love this for you. And I think, just checking my notes really quickly, I think we got it. Yeah, you guys got it. You deserve this. Okay, so we'll see you give me till 4:35 to get a snack and then come to the Q&A call. So I look forward to seeing you guys either today or tomorrow. And you guys have a great rest of your day. Have a good one.